Good morning, Facebook, as well as YouTube. So I'm coming on here to say this. Last night, going into early this morning, I was in the process of dreaming. And in the process of dreaming, I became homeless. It wasn't spoken in the dream, but spirit downloaded that into me as I was in the dream. I was homeless. I went to the church. I have no clue who this church is, who this church is for. I have no clue where this church is. I've never seen this church a day in my life. But as I began to walk around the church, I began to see it was kind of set up like a hotel, because I've seen a meeting room in a hotel as I've stayed at hotels before. But I know for a fact it was a church. But in one of the rooms, there were chairs, just like in a hotel, and then there was a projection screen. Like that particular room was going to be a office set up, like a seminar set up or something like that. They were going to be speaking in front of lots of people. And I began to go through every room. I saw this young lady, I'm not going to expose her name. I saw this young lady that lived in my old hometown of Orange, Texas. I saw her. I don't know if that was her church or if she was in the same situation I was in. I have no clue. But I saw her. She was there. And we were going through all of these rooms. And I saw one room and I said, I like that room. I think I want that room to be mine. Then it wasn't spoken of, like I said, but in my dream, my mind was working. Spirit was speaking to me in my dream as I was walking. And in my dream, there were spirits of babies. One of the spirits was trying to attach itself to me. I didn't really pay too much attention of it, but spirit was speaking to me as I was walking. Then the dream shifted into a big old, it was an ocean. I still saw the young woman from my old hometown. We basically dropped into the ocean together. There were a lot of sharks, or they could have been dolphins. They kind of look alike. They didn't bite us, so I'm assuming they were dolphins. When we first saw them, we got scared and we was like, wow, these are sharks. We have to swim. And I was trying to help her swim. We were basically, we dropped from the church scenery into an ocean. We got frightened. We thought they were sharks. Turns out they could have been dolphins, or they could have been sharks that did not bite. Who knows? Which brings me to what Spirit was saying. Babies, water is rebirth. The church represents God's judgment. There are a lot of loose ends that need to be tied, is what I'm getting. There's a lot of loose ends that need to be tied. And the only way you can tie those ends is by coming into agreement with Spirit. You see my hands? It's like a bird. That's the way it is. Freedom, the dove. Freedom, peace. There's a lot of, as I'm actually speaking right now. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade. I think that's how you say it. Either it's wade or wade. That just popped in my head. God's going to trouble the water. So there's a lot of loose ends that you have been, for whoever this is for, there's a lot of loose ends, stuff that has been troubling you. And when I say loose ends, meaning just like tubes need to be tied, clipped, and burned, sealed off, meaning there's a lot of trouble that you have been allowing access, because trouble can't get to you unless you allow the access. Sperm cells, and I'm just using that as an example to tie it all together. Sperm cells can't get in you and produce or birth anything unless you allow access. So what I'm getting is there is a lot of trouble that you have been allowing access. You have been allowing it to you have been allowing it to have access to your spirit and your mind. And the only way for you to basically get judgment and be set free is only if you come in agreement with spirit, because God is going to handle the trouble or the situation, whatever you are dealing with. And I'm painting a picture for people to get an understanding, as well as for me to close out with this as well. The only way for you to get peace, get judgment, be set free, have a new life. Rebirth is recreating. Rebirth is to redo something, give you a better life, give you a new life. And the only way for you to have that rebirth, for you to have that new life, is for judgment to take place. And the only way judgment is going to take place is only if you stop allowing the enemy or whatever is troubling you to have access to your mind, your body, and your spirit. You gotta allow God to have access to your mind, your body, and your spirit, because then you will have a better judgment. Then when you see trouble, or when you know that something is trouble, then you will know how to cut it off, like cutting those loose ends, clip, tie, and burn them. And what I'm getting is with the homeless situation, some people are going to be homeless because they have allowed the enemy to access what they have, or their blessing, or whatever it is. You've allowed someone to spiritually, to mentally, to physically invade your home. And it could mean your body, your mind, your spirit, because this is a body. Our flesh, this is our body for the spirit. You've allowed, that could very well mean that. It could not necessarily mean homeless, because what happens whenever another spirit inhabits the body? Your spirit is snatched out, and that other spirit is inhabiting your body. Lord have mercy. That's a good revelation. Lord have mercy. I could not have thought of this on my own. Please believe me. So I'm just going to close with that. Hopefully this helps somebody, for whoever this is for whoever this is for. And God knows exactly what you're dealing with. He knows. Why? Because he has an all-seeing eye. An all-seeing eye. And God is good all by himself. So that's why we have to allow him to clean us up. All the spiritual invaders that want to inhabit our body, we have to allow him to take care of that situation. Just like the little babies, we got to allow him to take care of it. Our mind, our spirit, everything that we are connected to, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Why? Because what happens, just to go back to the sharks like blood, right? So whenever something is attaching itself to us, it's kind of like a leech. It's sucking our life source. Not saying babies are leeches, Let's get it straight. But what happens whenever a baby is inside the womb of a woman is getting the life source from that umbilical cord that is filled with a lot of blood and nutrients. So whatever we are dealing with, and like I said, I'm just painting a picture. I'm just painting a picture for you to better understand the spiritual realm. So with that being said, peace out, much love until the next live stream.